Just go back and recreate the last 2 years where your new clients came from, and then ask yourself this question: am I doing everything possible to maximize that channel? The answer is going to be no. Then what I want you to do is brainstorm on what you can do to maximize that channel. Hi, this is Coach Joe Lukacs, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. My goal inside of this communication, this show, is to share with you my nearly 30 years of coaching some of the most successful financial advisors in North America. We're going to be talking about strategies, syntaxes. We're going to be bringing guests on from time to time, and I'm going to share with you what's working now. So think of this show as sort of like a little one-on-one kind of mini coaching cast, if you like, where we're going to be going in depth from time to time on strategies to help you grow your business, get more effective, become more efficient, find balance in your time management, grow your business, and quite frankly, whatever else is going on in the world today. So before we get to today's episode, I'd love for you to do a couple things for me. Number one, make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're doing the audio, make sure that you give us a review on whether Spotify or Apple. We'd really appreciate that. And quite frankly, that does help. It does matter when you rate things and like things and subscribe to things. It helps us get the word out to more of the industry. And lastly, I have a very special gift for you. Go to MagellanNetwork.net, so one word, MagellanNetwork.net, and I have for you a complimentary membership, 100% gratis, where you can tap into about between 50 and 75 hours of masterclasses, forms, tools, templates, and strategies. So please go ahead and make sure you go ahead and get that claimed, smash the like button and subscribe, and please go ahead and leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you're on. And now, let's get to this week's episode. Hi, it's your coach, Joe Lukacs. Welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. In this episode, we're going to finish our series, two-parter on how to develop a great business plan, strategic plan for 2026. So with that said, let's jump into it. So here's some other observations. So first off, if you're running pretty much a primarily advisory practice, which I think most of you are these days, at least hopefully you are, what matters is how much money you bring in each and every year. Not net new. Net new doesn't tell me anything because you can have a lot of outflows with RMDs, estates getting settled, clients doing crazy things with their money. Remember, it's their money, not yours. Just keep that in mind. So what I care about is how much money do you actually bring in every year. And a rule of thumb, and it's just a rule, it's not like, gospel here. If you're a solo advisor and you've been in the game for, let's say, at least five years, I would expect you to raise $8 to $12 million. If you have a team, I would expect, so if I had two advisors, I would like go 16 to 24. And if I have a 3-person team, I would go 24 to 36, right? And just so you know, I have 2-person in 2025. I've got several 2-person teams that have raised anywhere from $40 to $75 million this year, okay? And they're just really, really good at marketing and business development. They crush it, and they just really do a good job. So here's what I'm really saying is I think a lot of you play it too safe. You don't want to challenge yourself. And what I'm saying is, especially over the next 4 years, let's be very clear where we are. Here we are heading into 2026. From 2026 to 2030 is going to be the fat part of the bow wave of boomer retirements. So you have people leaving corporate America, right? That means K plans are available. You have also, let's not forget this, you're going to have the largest number of business owners transferring their businesses to either family members or to outside entities. So there's another second tranche of cash capital, right? Money in motion. And then the third piece is that over the next 4 years, this is when most advisors, based on all research and studies, have said that over the next 4 years, this is when the vast majority of advisors are going to retire. Okay. So again, assets in motion, right? From that perspective. So my point is, if there's ever time to be super proactive and we just got to buckle down, right? For the next 48 months, right? Think about like going back to college. And if we just kind of crush this, we'll be set. Like I really truly believe that if you were to focus. What you don't want to do is, kind of play the kind of game you've played, which has been slash average, maybe, I'm being kind, and then like you miss it and you're like, man, I should have missed it. Well, you can't go back in time and fix it, right? So I think that's critically important. The next piece is that when you put a plan together, you're going to put your blood, sweat, tears, your emotional energy into it, so on. What you also want to do is not forget about it. And a lot of you, will spend hours, if not days, putting a plan together, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, when's the last time you looked at it? Well, 3 months ago. I filed it away somewhere. It's on my computer. If you're not willing to review the plan at least once a week, so that's 52 times in 2026, don't put a plan together. Like, why? All it is busy work, in my experiences, right? Business plans are living documents. They are things that you look at weekly, and then we have a tool here in Magellan Network. We have a 2-page summary, which takes your 10-year goals, your 3-year goals, your 1-year goal, your marketing, branding, business development, your personal development, your projects, all that on 2 pages. And you look at that every morning as part of your morning success ritual, right? If you're going to set goals, you're going to live them. And that's critically important. So we're going to do regular reviews once a week on the whole plan, but every day we're going to be around it. Critically important. Next, we want to make sure that we're tracking. So this is, and look, for a lot of you, you have PTSD about tracking because you probably grew up in a captured or maybe in a firm and they micromanaged you to death, and like, when you got out of there, like you literally got out of jail, right? However, let me say this. That's throwing out the baby with the bathwater. You want to do tracking. Now, what do I want you to track? There should probably be a whole separate episode, but very quickly. Like I said, they're leading and lagging indicators. So leading indicators are going to be, from a pure business perspective, contacts, review meetings, referral ask, referral gets, new household, new money brought in. Keep it simple. I don't need like a 14-page, I don't need a 14-cell detailed spreadsheet that you will struggle to fill out. The other thing I want to say, some of you want to track your time. It is, in my experience, is the worst thing to do because you'll spend all day tracking your time and getting nothing done. Let me put it this way. If you feel like you have to track your time, then you already know you have a problem. Period. And for most of you, now there may be a few of you that get, because you're on a team or something like that, you may get compensated by the hour, but in my experiences, I'm struggling to come up with one that I can think of. You're all compensated based on outcomes, right? Producing outcomes and activities, all right? So tracking time is tracking the wrong thing. You can say, I'm going to spend an hour on business development today, and you get on a phone call with one COI, and you have a 30-minute phone call, and then you talk to another referral that hasn't said yes yet, but another 20 minutes with them, and then next thing you know, the hour's up. Oh, I did business development for an hour. You had 2 conversations where you should be having 15, right? So don't get caught up in tracking times. Totally irrelevant. It's all about actions and activities. I want to be very, very clear on that, all right? Next. Some of you have the tendency to kind of pencil this all the way down, and you'll set these almost impossible daily goals. And what you got to realize is that, in my experiences, what we care about is producing the end result. So you have to learn how to win ugly. And sometimes winning ugly is like, okay, I've got a standard of doing 10, and it's where the daily standards come in. I have a daily standard of doing 10 outbound contacts per day. Email, voicemail, texting if you're loud, Loom, BombBomb, whatever, right? 10 of those. And it's 5 o'clock, and you only got 7 done. You have a choice right there in that moment. You can say, 7, good enough, i.e. below standard, or you say, you know what? I've got a standard of 10. I'm going to stay for the next 20 minutes. I'm going to bang out some emails. I'm going to bang out some LinkedIn messaging. I'm going to bang out some Looms, whatever it happens to be for you. You get it done, and you check a box, and you declare victory for that day. So it's great to have a business plan and a set of goals. But if you don't have standards that are associated to those goals on a daily basis, it will not happen for you. It just won't, period. And that becomes a big challenge. The other piece is, if you're running a team, right, or you have a partnership, or you're in a relationship personally, this is not just about the business. Like, you got to make sure that you get buy-in from all your key partners, right, business and personal. a lot of advisors operate in a vacuum with their spouses or significant others, where the business is in business. Well, hey, guess what? I really almost, I hate the word demand, but it almost is on demand. I demand of my personal clients that, hey, if we're going to do goal setting, we're going to do planning the way we do, we have a beautiful section in our vision process called our ideal life and lifestyle. And what we had found over the years, and we've been doing it now for 27 years, is that we just by accident, we had found that clients were taking in and sitting down with their spouse, significant others, and coming up with the bucket list, coming up how they want to live their life, like where they want to live, the house, if they're going to do renovations, are they going to move, what was going to be for the family, right? All those things. It was very, it was very collaborative. And that was one of our unintended consequences, that after a while I said, you know what? It's just become standard practice. So whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that your team's on board, your business team's on board, and your personal team is on board. Okay? Super critical. Hi, Coach Joe Lukacs here, and I'm just breaking here for a moment just to do a couple quick reminders. Number one, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast. In addition, please leave a comment or a review. Those things really, really matter. And share this episode with 3 of your colleagues inside the financial services space. And lastly, make sure that you go ahead and claim your free membership inside of Magellan Network. Now back to this week's episode. Next, some are going to ask, well, hey, let's just say, we put the plan together, we've got all broken down, and we get off, and we're not on track. Let's say we get going, and January comes and goes, and away we go. And just a quick sidebar, when I come back after the holiday, I will have a 2-part series on how to get off to a great start. I think we're going to put the first one up actually maybe before New Year's, and we'll put the one up right after New Year's. So just be aware that I will support you. I've got some strong strategies how to make January a killer time to get out of the box really strong. So just watch for the drop of those episodes. But let's just say you're not on track. It does not mean you should abandon your goals. Okay. And I want you to understand this. This is a momentum business. And this is where I think a lot of advisors sabotage themselves. They will come up with a goal and they will go after it. And if they don't see like immediate results, they get super impatient and they tell themselves, this is not working. I've got to try a different strategy, and away we go. And what I have found to be true is the exact opposite, that most advisors go into start and stop mode their entire career, and they never let anything root or take shape. And that's where patience and playing the long game is super critical. Now, depending on where you are in your career cycle, so if you're a younger advisor, you're under pressure to grow and develop your business. If you're, I hate the word older, but if you're more experienced advisor, how about that? You are probably indoctrinated. Like I know many advisors that are I'm 61, who are my contemporaries age-wise, and they grew up in having to do like daily gross and monthly gross, right? It was all about you had to have a great month, right? And the problem with that is it creates very short-term thinking. And short-term thinking is a pattern. And you apply short-term thinking to long-term goals, guess what? It doesn't work. Get impatient, not happening fast enough. You want to abandon things. And then you're in, like I like to call it, the perpetual startup mode, right? Which is where every year is just like, hey, this will be our year. This will be our year. This will be my year, right? And 20 years later, you're still trying to find your year. Like, stop. Like, if it's not working, don't do it. Let's do something different, right? I think that's a critically important. A couple other things I want to say, and then we'll get you guys out of here. Business development. I'm going to touch upon this for a moment. I think, and this is just my observation, and I like to observe. I'm very blessed that I have a lot of personal clients who will try anything for me. And so one of the things that we did this year, we were very intentional about tracking new households. Now, where they come from. Now, with that said, I will tell you that I do have clients that do seminars, and they crush it. I also have clients that do third-party lead gen, whether it's like Smart Asset or Apex Advisor or Advisor Jetpack or anything that shows up on your LinkedIn feed or on your Instagram feed. I've got clients doing, okay? And I would say I think everything works for somebody. It's really a question of what works for you. There is a massive tendency for advisors to want to try it all, and they dabble with it all. They never get excellent at any one thing. So here's a very simple test for you all to work through. Number one, and you can take a 2-year sample size, 1 year, 2 years. I mean, 1 year minimum, 2 year, I think would be better. Take a 2-year sample size of all the new relationships you got and definitively determine where they came from. Did they come from client referrals? Did they come from COIs? Did they come from your personal network, like your chamber, Rotary, whatever, right? BNI, Pro Advisors, right? Did they come from ads? Did they come from wherever, right? And for most of you, again, there's going to be outliers, but for most of you, your new households are predominantly going to come from client referrals and COIs. Maybe some networking, and then, like I said, some people they play LinkedIn game, they do Facebook ads, whatever. But here's the thing. Let's just say the scenario, right? Hey, I brought in 18 new households last year, 2025. And, 12 of them came from client referrals and 6 of them came from COIs, right? Let's just say that was our reality. And then you're going to come and tell me that you want to do this big LinkedIn campaign, right? That you've been doing, like, hey, I want to do more social media. I got to do more posting. I go, yeah, man, but nothing comes from that. So, like, wouldn't that energy be better spent leveraging up your referral game with your clients and leveraging up your COI game? Wouldn't that make more sense, right? And you have to get over this FOMO, fear of missing out, and realize, like, your data will tell you the answers. Now, I'm not anti or pro social media, okay? Here's what I am. I think it's very delusional thinking to sit there in 2026, for most of you being 90%, and say, I'm going to go do this big LinkedIn campaign. I'm going to do this big social media campaign. I'm going to double, triple down on my energy and efforts there because I see all these other advisors doing it. I've got 75, 78 personal clients. I will tell you that if I were to look at, like, the aggregate of new households, I bet you when I add them all up, will be somewhere between 1,200 and 1,500 new households amongst all my clients, okay? If there's 25 that will come from social media, because I just kind of know what the numbers are, I haven't finalized them yet, that's probably going to be a lot. The majority, 1A is going to be client referrals, 1B is going to be COI referrals, and then seminars, and then kind of it's like a massive differential. Like 80% is the first two buckets, right? Clients and COIs. Then everything kind of falls into there. And I've got a big sample size, right? Wirehouse, independent, RA, insurance focus, all of it. So it's not like I've got one generic scenario here. So I'm just asking you, as think of me as like your coach for a minute. Just go back and recreate the last 2 years where your new clients came from, and then ask yourself this question: am I doing everything possible to maximize that channel? The answer is going to be no. Then what I want you to do is brainstorm on what you can do to maximize that channel, right? Unless you've got a big staff with a lot of resources that you can kind of play in different channels, you're going to be way better served optimizing the channels that you have than adding more channels that you're going to be mediocre in. Period. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys this week. I want to thank you all for giving me the privilege this past year to come into your lives once a week and share my wisdom and my strategies and my examples and my stories and just kind of what I do. Like I said, this is more of a creative outlet for me than anything else. So I do them because I love doing it. I don't really expect business from this, quite frankly. And if I look at my world, my new clients come from client referral. I mean, my personal clients, they all come from client referrals. So with that said, have a great holiday. Close the door on 2025 because you need to. It's over, season's over. And when I see you next, like I said, I think it'll be before the ball drops or maybe right after. Let's make 2026 your best year ever in the business. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how long you've been in this game. Let's make the upcoming year, 2026, your best year ever. With that said, thank you for listening and watching this episode of the Magellan Network Show. like today's video or audio. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast YouTube channel. And if you found this episode valuable, please forward it to a colleague in the game. For more information, MagellanNetwork.net. That's our home. And have a great holiday. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net, and we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game both personally and professionally.